My favorite memory with Mongo is when we were at the end of practice and Mongo wanted to show us how good of a hitter he was. So he asked Coach to pitch him a ball and he took my brand new bat, and when Coach pitched it, it was outside and he swung at it anyway. And when he swung, he threw my bat and it went all the way over the dugout and into a ditch. And then he blamed Coach for the bad pitch.
My sophomore year of high school was when Mongo and Coach Scott first started working together, and we could always tell there was something special about Mongo, but it showed the most when we were down in a game. Mongo was always there to pick us up. He was the glue that held us together, and we always played for Mongo.
I thank God for my life, and for the stars and stripes. May freedom forever fly. Let it ring. Salute the ones who died.
My favorite memory of Steve Montgomery is that we would always go out to McGilvery's after home football games, basketball games. When I think of what I love most about him, is probably his laugh. When he really gets to laughing, it's so contagious. Just makes my heart smile. So.
Sweet Caroline, good time never seemed so good. I did it climb.
Mongo was a major influence on the team and I. Without him, we wouldn't be the team we are today. He brought so much energy and happiness to our team. Every game we will play will always be for Mongo. We miss him so much and he will never be forgotten. Hashtag Mongo up. Coach strives to be the legend Mongo was every day. That's why we have so much respect for Coach and we are more than lucky to have him.
But it can buy me a boat. It can buy me a truck to pull it. It can buy me a Yeti 110 ass down with some silver bullets.
Last year in our home game against Lutheran, we were down 3-0, and in the last inning we came back and scored 4 runs and ended up winning 4-3. And about 2 hours later, we found out that Mongo had passed away, and one of the last things that he heard is that we won the game.
Born again, there's new grass on the field. Around the third and headed for home. It's a brown.
When you think of Mongo, you automatically think of a great coach, a good man, and somebody who could always put a smile on your face. He was a man who demanded respect and discipline from the girls, but also let them know that he supported them unconditionally. We are incredibly lucky that with Coach Montgomery, the staff he's worked beside, and all the girls that he's coached over the year, that his memory will always be honored. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have a coach who leaves a lasting impression. Luckily, girls for over 20 years have that in Mongo. He makes me proud to be a Cardinal.
My favorite memory of Steve Montgomery was last season's Perry game when the whole team could see him struggling, but he tried his hardest to never show it. He tried to be so strong for us, and I'll always respect that. My teammates and I play every game for Mongo.
Batter, batter, swing, batter, batter, swing, batter, batter, swing. Swing, batter, batter, swing, batter, batter, swing, batter, batter, swing. Yeah.
No, Coach Montgomery was he was the first guy that I met here when I got hired 18 years ago now. He welcomed me into this program since he was kind of my coaching partner opposite of me, with him doing the softball and me being the baseball coach. He kind of helped me, find my way here. Since I wasn't teaching here the first couple of years, he was real influential on how, we went about doing things. We got very close, became very good friends, including his son Scott. And, I knew his wife, Judy, from working here over all the years and working with him. I think, there's all kinds of stories about Coach Montgomery. He was pretty famous for the story of, being where the baseball diamond used to be is where the softball diamond is now, that he supposedly hit the parking lot, in the air. I used to kind of kid him about and ask him about it. He finally broke loose and said, Whit, so that never happened. He said, there's all kinds of stories out there. I do know that as far as at Southport and at Indiana Central, he was an absolutely just phenomenal athlete. Great man to be around. It was tough, seeing what he was going through. I just kind of gone through the same thing with my father around that same time period. And it was tough kind of seeing what he and, Judy and the family, everybody was going through, when the cancer hit. But, he was, he fought everything to the end. Funny guy. There's a lot of stories that I can't put on video and tell about, but a lot of guys that have. But definitely welcome to be around here. So.
But you don't have to call me darling, darling. You never even call me.
My memory for Montgomery is from 2011, which was my freshman year at Southport. So it was the first day of official practice for softball. And I was the freshman on varsity, so I was pretty nervous. I didn't want to make a mistake. I didn't want to disappoint anyone or have people think of me differently. So yeah, I was trying very, very hard. So when you hit grounders and pop-ups in the gym, you're supposed to toss the ball to the side so you don't damage anything. And there was a catcher. This was in the field house. So there's a catcher by the basketball goal. And I'm sure you softball girls know what gym I'm talking about and how the basketball goals, how they're set up. There was a catcher there to prevent from throwing it to the window. So I don't know why, but when I went to throw it, I was so scared to throw it that I tried to toss it lightly. I didn't toss it lightly. I tossed it so hard it flew up over the basketball goal, and the worst possible thing that could ever happen happened to me. I hit Montgomery right in the face. His glasses flew off across the court. Oh my gosh, I didn't know what to do. I was so humiliated, and I felt so bad. We run up to make sure he's okay, and as everyone's running past me down, he's like, I can't believe you just did that. I'm like, I know. Thank you for the reminder. And then everyone else is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just did that. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. So we huddle up. I'm behind my glove. I'm hiding behind everyone because, I'm trying to play it off like I didn't do it. But everyone saw me do it. I got ratted out in a heartbeat, but he comes up and he asks nicely, who threw it? And everyone turned and pointed right at me, and I put my glove down, and he sees that I'm crying. And instead of him getting mad at me or punishing me or telling me to leave, he tells me not to cry and tells me that what I did, it happens. And I'm just like, Coach, I don't think hitting you in the face happens. Anyone's ever done that. But okay, whatever you say, I'm just gonna continue and let you talk. He asked me if I'm okay, first of all. Coming from the man who's bleeding down his face, he's asking me if I'm okay. Just smiling at me with the biggest smile he has, and just has his hand on my shoulder, just telling me, like, it's okay, don't cry. Like, I know you're nervous. It's okay to be nervous. It's the first day of practice. And I'm like, this turned out so different to what I thought. I was preparing myself to get yelled at. I just was like, this is what you've done. You're going to accept this punishment and you're going to get over it. Oh my gosh. But that's when I realized how kind and caring Montgomery was and how special we were to get to have him in that season. I don't think I would have been the player I was if it weren't for him. He never stops believing in the players he coaches or his students. He was so loving and caring, and he treated everyone with respect. He treated everyone as they're his own.
I can still remember every lesson he taught me. Growing up, learning how to be like my old man.
I
came in last year as a freshman on varsity and didn't really have enough time to get to know Mongo personally the way the other girls did. But the way the upperclassmen and the whole team together was affected by his death really shows how much Mongo meant to the girls and to the Southport softball organization altogether.
You just might miss your babies growing like mine did, turning into moms and dads. Next thing you know, you better have a 50 years as they're in bed. And
There's a lot I could say about Coach Mongo, but I'm not sure how to put it all into words. Coach Mongo gives you a kind of warmness in your heart that you crave from everyone. He was such a genuine man, and I'll always feel so blessed to have been coached by him. My teammates and I miss Mongo every day, but we know with Coach Montgomery that we all play for the same reasons. I play every game for Mongo.
if heaven wasn't so far away, I'd pack up the kids and go for the day. Introduce them to their grandpa, watch them laugh at the way he talks.
My fondest remembrance of Steve Montgomery. Number one, I don't think I've ever saw Steve without a smile on his face. Very happy-go-lucky guy. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. Probably the best athlete that's ever come out of Southport High School. He is in our Wall of Fame. Probably one of the biggest memories I have about Steve was after he retired from coaching softball. The timing was really bad when we were we were in need of a new head softball coach. And we got within probably 2 weeks of the softball season. And I went back to Steve Montgomery and asked him if he would coach our softball team. And he had this big smile on his face and told me absolutely that he would step up and come back and coach our softball team again. And I think we probably won 20 games. We were like 20-4 that year, and he had a great time, and the kids were tickled to death to have him back. And it was just a great remembrance of the kind of a person that he was and what softball and the kids meant to him. I will never forget that. I mean, he was already retired, and I went back and asked him. He was removed from the program probably 2 or 3 years, and he came back and did it, and it was just fantastic. And that was just the kind of guy he was, and he is big time missed.
It all, and now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go.
And I hope Sid's to come back and be coaching softball again this year with the girls, and that's my goal, and I'm going to work hard to get to that point. But I just want everybody to know how much I appreciate everything that's been done.